So recently, President Donald Trump released an ad that's so comically bad, that's so brazenly racist, that it's indistinguishable from a satirical ad you might find in The Onion or an ad that they make up in Saturday Night Live to make fun of Republicans for fear-mongering over immigrants. So I'm going to play you the ad, and then afterwards we'll discuss the implications of the ad along with the response the ad received. So take a look at this joke of an ad that Donald Trump released last Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please step out of the hallway.
They're fucking dead. So fucking break up soon, and I'll kill more. The only thing that I fucking regret is if I can just kill two. I wish if I can kill more of those motherfuckers. I'll kill more cops soon.
He says he wants to apply for pardon for the felony he committed. Attempt of murder.
So obviously, the message is crystal clear. These immigrants, these brown immigrants that are coming here from Honduras, it's not like these are families trying to flee violence. In fact, they're coming here to commit crimes. A lot of those people are just as psycho as Luis Bracamontes, who Democrats let into the country. So a lot of these people, they're not coming here to make a better life for themselves. They're coming here to commit murder. And yes, those individuals headed from Honduras are just like this psychopath in this ad. Now, the reality, it just doesn't matter to Donald Trump, because any reasonable person can obviously deduce that, yes, there is a lot of violence in Honduras, in large part due to the coup that we started in 2009, but nonetheless, there's violence, so they're coming here to flee violence and make a better life for themselves. But Donald Trump, he doesn't care about facts or reality. What he's trying to do is very clear. He's trying to gin up support among the base and trying to fearmonger in an attempt to galvanize support for the Republican Party ahead of the midterm elections. Now, the problem with the assumptions he made in this ad is that they're so preposterous that you can dismiss them on their face, because obviously Democrats and anyone who's rational wouldn't want someone like this in the country who's a literal cop killer. Nobody is advocating that people like him should be let into the country, and furthermore, in trying to pin blame on Democrats for this, he ended up making a fool of himself because, as The Hill reports, quote, the man at the center of President Trump's controversial new midterms ad, who was convicted of the murder of 2 police officers, was readmitted to the U.S. during President George W. Bush's tenure, not under Democrats, as the ad says. So what a colossal fucking failure. In an attempt to scapegoat Democrats and blame them for this guy, he inadvertently revealed his own party's incompetence with regard to this issue. It was Democrats who let him in. No, actually, it was George W. Bush who let him in. But I mean, the ad itself, it isn't just factually incorrect. Trump isn't just wrong. He's not just revealing the Republican Party's incompetence or his own stupidity, but it's also racist. And look, it doesn't matter how blatantly racist Donald Trump is. It doesn't matter how insensitive a statement he makes is. When the left points out that Donald Trump said something racist, well, the obvious response is always going to be, oh, well, Mike, see, it's easy for you to call everything racist because everything is racist to you. You're just the liberal cuck, SJW, snowflake, NPC, orange man, bad fag. So the reality of the situation is that you don't have to take my word for it, but this ad was so racist that even Fox News decided to pull it. And if Fox News thinks something is too racist, then I think that's a pretty good gauge as to just how blatantly racist something is. Now, Fox's president of ad sales, Marianne Gambelli, said this about the ad in a statement, quote, upon further review, Fox News pulled the ad yesterday and it will not appear on either Fox News or Fox Business network. I wonder why. Not only is it factually incorrect for starters, but it's also really fucking racist. If you're trying to generalize an entire group of people based on the actions of one person who's a criminal and a psychopath, that's racist. That's bigotry. Regardless if you want to acknowledge that or not, most reasonable people would logically deduce that that ad is racist, it's fear-mongering, and for these networks to even run it to begin with, they should be ashamed of themselves. Now look, it's not just Fox, because NBC News and Facebook also pulled the ad, as Reuters reports, and this was in response, at least when it comes to NBC, to them airing the ad during a Sunday night football broadcast. So now they have decided to pull the ad for obvious reasons, because it's pretty fucking racist. So look, Donald Trump, you can see his electoral strategy because he's wearing it on his sleeves. His goal is to make you be afraid. Be very, very afraid, because people from Honduras who are fleeing the violence that our country caused, they're just like that criminal in this ad, and you should be afraid of them. I mean, it's laughable. And if Donald Trump was in fact playing three-dimensional chess, as a lot of his supporters like to suggest, then he would at least try to code his racist words a little better, right? He would at least try to be more subtle in the implication that these immigrants are criminals. But instead, he just overtly described those immigrants coming from Honduras as comparable to a cop killer, a convicted cop killer who's on death row. I mean, as appalling as the ad is, he's at least helping the left, right? Because this is so comical, so brazen. It's so obvious that what he's trying to do is fearmonger that he's actually making our case for us, because he's showing that he doesn't have an argument. Republicans don't have an argument. They don't stand for anything. What policies are they proposing this midterm? Are they proposing a fix to the Affordable Care Act, which they lambast often? Because it certainly needs to be fixed. Are they proposing to end the wars? No, if anything, Donald Trump expanded the military-industrial complex and U.S. militarism. So Republicans don't have an argument. So the only way they can win is if they galvanize their base to come out and vote, and the number one strategy they use for doing that is fear-mongering. This time it is immigrants, but a couple years ago it was ISIS. So they want you to vote based on fear, because they don't have any policies that could actually benefit your life. So they have to make you feel afraid. But in actuality, you don't have to be afraid. The world isn't that scary of a place. And sometimes issues are relatively black and white. These people are coming here because they want to flee violence, not cause violence in the United States. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to convince a lot of Donald Trump supporters who were already sold on this idea that all immigrants are criminals and they shouldn't be allowed to enter the country or even make their case for asylum.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.